Hello and welcome back to this channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to go ahead and use the new vector brushes. Some of them are not new, but they are fairly new, and create a beautiful fall landscape, which looks like this, by the way. So we're just going to go ahead and create this using only vector brushes and only the new sets. That's the Jitter, I think they're called Jitter, and the outline brushes only. Okay, so this is going to be a super simple tutorial. That is, even if you are a beginner to drawing, you are most welcome to join in, because I'm sure that you'll be able to create this. It might look complicated, but trust me, it's not. All these things are just because of the brushes that I'm using. So let's just go ahead and get started then. So I'm going to click on create new, and in here go into digital and click on current screen size. So I just want to quickly show you the reference image that I used for this illustration, because I don't want you to think that I came up with the whole idea on my own. That's not how it works. At least I mostly use reference images for things. I'll leave the link to the image. If you want, you can go ahead and download it as well. I'm just going to quickly show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is the image that I used, and this is how my illustration looks. Of course, I added a lot of extra things into it, because otherwise it would have been very plain and simple, and I didn't want to stop at that. It was so much fun that I thought I'll add more details to it. Even the sky is a bit dramatic, because I like some drama in my illustration. All right, so let's go ahead and go and quickly get our sketch and also the color palette. You can download both the color palette and sketch from the link in the description box below. Once you have downloaded it, it might get saved in photos or files depending on where you save it. So all you have to do is click on these images. Let's bring in the sketch first. So I'm just going to go into photos because my sketch is in there. If it's in files, just go over here. Okay, there you go. My sketch is here. I'm just going to click on done. And now I'll go ahead into my levels here and click on multiply. That's because this sketch has a white background, and if I don't choose multiply, and if it's in normal mode, I can see that white background. So if I draw something beneath it, I won't be able to see it. But if I use multiply, what happens is the white background kind of disappears. Just let you know, this is not a way to make your artwork transparent. It just shows up as transparent, but in reality, it's still there. So don't use this as a method if you want to create transparent backgrounds on anything. I'm going to draw everything below this layer so that I can see what's happening. Let's go back here. Now it's time to bring in the colors, and as you know, if you watched one of my previous videos, I'll link it in the description box below, or also here as a card somewhere. There are 3 different ways in which you can get colors, and I think I'm going to choose the most easiest way and just bring in the image that I created earlier and try to get colors off of it. But for you guys, I'm going to leave a color palette which you can download, and then use either the option to go to app settings and click on auto create color palette, turn it on, and then bring in the image, and then it'll automatically take the colors. Oops. So that means it took the colors from the sketch, I guess. Yeah, there you go. I'm just going to delete this off. If you're confused, please watch my colors video. It's pretty clear over there what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the image so that I have the color palette. There you go. I'm going to click on done. And if I go here, I see the colors. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this. So let's start painting, I guess. So what I want to do is I want to start from the area which is in the back. That is, the sky is obviously in the back, and then comes the mountains, and then the trees, and then the house, and then this lawn in the front, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that in sequence, okay? So the first layer is obviously going to be the sky, and we're going to go ahead and choose the vector brushes now. So I was talking about the Jitter here, and not the manga. We're not going to be using the manga, but we'll be using the outline brushes to add some details later on, because I wanted to show you what you can do with outline brushes other than just lettering. So let's go ahead and look at the Jitter, and I'm going to use the heavy Jitter for this one. Now, first of all, let's start off with the colors. I want a purplish background over here. You see there are a lot of purples here. Choose something which is very light. I think I'm going to choose this one. If you don't know what I've chosen, you can just click on this HSB sliders and you will see the numbers exactly. 220, 26 and 85. That's the one I've chosen. You can choose any, actually. It really doesn't matter. Maybe we'll choose this. I'll just color it and see. Oh yeah, I think I like this one better. So what I'm going to do is you can use your 2-finger tab to undo. I've chosen this color, that is 264 and 85. So whatever color you choose and you put it on your artboard, it shows up here in the recents, right? Okay, just to make sure that you know what colors you've already picked up. Let's go ahead and draw the sky. Now the size I've kept it as 417. You can click on it and increase or decrease, or click and hold and set it. This 417 is just a number. It can be 400, 300, keep whatever you want. It doesn't matter. My smoothing is at 50. It's a default setting that comes with these brushes, and even all the other settings are very default. Let's just go ahead and draw the sky. If you put a lot of pressure, it creates these thick lines. If you put a little bit, it's thin lines. So just go ahead and draw. Don't worry too much about going on to these mountains or anything right now. It doesn't matter because we're going to go ahead and fix it later on, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and put it all up here. Oh, let me go ahead and turn the artboard mode on. Okay, that looks better. Now let's go ahead and add more things to the sky, I guess. So click a plus. So it should be above the sky layer, obviously. And now I'm going to choose this really light or pale color. That's 16, 8, and 95. And I just want some things like this. You see, I'm putting some pressure. That's a lot of pressure. So I'm just going to put some pressure and do things like this. Just put some blobs. Don't worry too much about it, actually. We're just trying to make some clouds. So, it'll look a bit weird right now. But this is one of those paintings where you have to trust the process. Like by end of it, you'll have something that will look much better than how it looks right now. I go back and select white. I'm going to create a new layer again. Rule number 1 of digital art is draw everything on a new layer. Because Fresco has unlimited layers, as far as I know, you can make as many layers as you want. Now I'm going to add some white clouds, but I want to add them so that they're right on top of this cloudy layer here, like this. And maybe add a bit like that. Make it a little interesting. I'm going to bring some out of these mountains here, like just behind mountains, because they look nice when they have a nice little contrast with the yellow that we're going to put. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's just quickly uncheck the sketch to see how the sky is coming up. It's fine. We can always come back and fix it because it's a vector. Now our sky is done. Now it's time to do mountains. So I'm going to click on plus and let's go ahead and choose some yellow. I want this bright, nice yellow, but wait a minute. Even the mountains have a hierarchy here. You see this mountain is in the back and then comes this one and then this one. So we're going to color this one first. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose some orange, probably this one. And now make sure that this edge is nice and crispy. Not crispy, but you see how I am doing it like this? I'm just going to uncheck the sketch or maybe lighten the sketch a little bit. To lighten the sketch layer, you can click on these levels and go ahead and reduce the opacity. Let's go back to this layer now, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is a bit pointy here. You can always use the eraser tool, by the way, and erase off things which you feel are a little too much. And then I'm going to just fill it in. You can also go ahead and put the end like this and use your fill tool and fill it in. Because it's vector, it fills in very well. Okay, I'm going to uncheck the sketch to look at my mountain. It's a bit wobbly, but I think I can work with it. If you feel like it's too much, you can always go back to your vector brush and use other jitter brushes. Like you can use the medium ones or even light jitter, and then go ahead and fix this up a little bit like this. Okay, that's done. Bring back your sketch. Now I'm going to go ahead to that level and plus so that it's right above this level. And we're going to add some darker color to it. Maybe this orange, or let me try this. This one looks good. So probably let's add this orange itself. So this one is 33, 97, and 95. I just want to add some things in here which say that there are like, oh, go back to your brush, by the way. I want the medium jitter right now, and I'm going to go ahead and add. Don't worry if it goes above like this. I'm going to teach you a trick so that it goes and sits right on the orange layer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a bit, things like that. Just add some blobs of, there's supposed to be trees and things like that. And so only thing you have to follow is the line of the mountain. So when you draw lines here, it should go like this, curve like this, curve like this. This will come straight up and then down like this. Okay. Okay, and if you want, you can add some darker orange as well. I think I have one here. Maybe let me add that a bit. You probably cannot see it right now. Let me uncheck that. I'm going to add it right here. Or maybe on a new layer because I don't know if I want to keep it. Undo, 2-finger taps. Plus, I'm going to hide the sketch just for you guys to see. You don't have to hide it every time like I'm doing here. Alright, so now I told you I'm going to show you a trick in which you see this popping up here. So you go back to the layer which has the orange layer, this layer, and then you click on this here, that's clipping mask, and then it automatically clips it to this layer. If you look carefully, you can see a tiny arrow here. This arrow means that this layer has been clipped to this layer. Whatever is on here will appear only on wherever this yellow is. So you can go back here and fix these things if you want. You can click and hold and select color directly from here. You can add more colors if you feel like this is too less or something. You can go ahead. Now I'll go back to this layer and click on plus, and I want to add some whites because I was initially planning on having some snow. You can choose white from here, but then I decided against it. But you can just go ahead and add some trickly snow if you want. You know, just here and there. Maybe it has snowed a bit on the top. Maybe. There you go. That's enough, I guess. Now click on plus and we're going to go ahead and make the rest of the mountain. Go ahead and bring back in your sketch. You can press the I here if I haven't mentioned it already. Now let's go back to our heavy jitter and now let's make this one. So for this one, I have a little bit of greenish. I think it's this. That's 78, 28 and 55. I'm just going to go ahead and draw this off. And then click on plus, and in this we're going to add a bit different green, maybe one of these darker greens, maybe this one which is 95, 61 and 25, and I'm going to create a new layer obviously and add a bit of trees, I guess. So I'm using very little pressure here. If you cannot get this pressure thing is right in the first try, don't stress out, don't give up, because I didn't start doing this immediately. Obviously it takes time to control your brush. It's true with any skill, right? So unless you practice, you're not gonna get better at it. So if you don't give up, if you create really bad art the first couple of times or first 10 times, just keep trying and you'll get it at some point for sure. If I can do it, you can too. Just click on plus again and we're going to draw this one. For this, I need the yellow that I chose earlier. So I will go ahead and draw this one now. I don't have to care about this bottom line because, you know, the other layers are going to come and then hide it. So it's completely okay. By the way, I will always uncheck sketch and look at things before I decide to go ahead with the next layer. So this is too much for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it. If you feel this jitter is way too much for you guys, you can always choose the medium jitter. You don't have to do it just because I'm using it, okay? Okay, cool. Now let's click on plus and we're going to go ahead and draw the rest of the things. For this one, I'm going to choose a bit darker color. That is 45, 95 and 85. And I'm going to go ahead and draw over here. So basically my idea is different layer. So add some things like this. Can use these sketch as a guide. I'm going to add some things here like that. This is going to be in the background, so don't worry too much about it. The trees are going to cover it mostly. That is too much. I'm going to undo that. Now I'm going to add some greens to it, the one which was here, because I think this will look good with some green. Probably I'm going to uncheck the sketch because otherwise it looks okay. Let me undo that first and create a new layer. Now I'll uncheck the sketch, and now here I'm going to add some green, and I think this is a bit too dark, but no problem. It's our illustration. We can do whatever we want, right? And plus, and I want to add obviously some whites because why not? And let's add some whites, and I'm going to go into my heavy jitter because I think I like that better. No, this definitely looks much better with the light or medium jitter. Oh, I don't want it to reach the top because I want the clouds to look better. Okay, I think that should be fine. As for the layer, which is that darker yellow, I'm going to go ahead and clip it so that it's, you know, really nice and sits very nicely. Oh, I'm going to choose that color and I want to edit a bit here so that this is, you know, covered. Okay, and that looks good. Now let's go ahead and add the next layer. That is, I think, the green layer over here. Let me bring this back. Let's go to the top of the whites up and let's make this layer over here. So I'm going to choose really light green for that. That's 50, 50, 65, and I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to go ahead and color it all the way down because I want the back of the trees to have some base here. Like, we don't want some white spaces around here, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and carefully draw this so that it's nice and covered. So there are no white spaces over there. Click on plus, and I want to add these little tiny shrubs or bushes over here. For that I need some bright yellow, orange. So I'm going to use this one, 33, 97 and 95, and I will just use that brush and draw some trees. So as you can see, it's just a silhouette of trees, so you can do some things like this. And now plus. Now there are a few things that you can draw here. You can draw the trees or you can draw this base here. I think I'm going to go ahead with trees because it comes right below this one. So for the trees, I have different colors here. I'm going to choose, I want very olive green kind of tree. So I'm going to choose this. That's 50, 97 and 45. So let's go ahead and do that for this. You just draw the silhouettes like this. Oh, I forgot. There's one tree behind. That's okay. We'll come and do that later. So I'm just going to draw this one now. It's just nothing but round blobs. As you can see, it's super easy to draw. And let's draw this as well. Okay, so I want this tree in the back. So I'm going to go back to this layer, this orange layer, and click plus. And I will choose a darker color. That is maybe this one. Let's try it out. Yes, this looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my tree. And obviously I want to draw this one. And I'm going to go back into the other color that we had, like here, and color the rest of a tree like this, like that. And I'm going to go back into my darker color and, make it look a bit more realistic, I guess. And now we can go back into the layer which has these lighter colors, and I will plus, because now I want to add a bit of shadow here. So it's the bottom of the trees and we're going to add some shadow. So it's going to look pretty dark, and I'm going to add a bit over here as well. Don't worry that, it's going out. We can always press on clipping mask and then it's going to clip it really nicely. So now I'll go back to the layer which has these. You can use a new layer as well. I'm going to choose some really dark color. So I'll just choose this color, which is over here, and I'll bring this up bit down, not too much, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this because I didn't have that color on my palette, so I didn't want to go back and bring it in. I can just choose a different color. It's okay. Now I'll go back into the clipping mask layer that we have up, and I want the color which I use for this. So that is this one, this color over here. So maybe we can add some, oh no, that's too light. Let's choose the darker one and add some over here. Oh, okay, and this tree, we forgot about this tree. Where's this tree? Is this layer? No, it's this layer. Okay, now we'll go back to the clipping mask and add some things over here as well, because we need to add shadow here. It's right below the house. Our trees are basically done, except that we have to give it some outlines, which we're going to do in the end, by the way. Now plus sign, and we're going to go ahead and do this layer here. Let's choose probably, yeah, this same color. I think this one, this color here, this one, the same color. And I'm going to go ahead and draw again because this time it's on the top. So make sure that you draw it nice and neat. Plus, and now we're going to go ahead and make the house. For the house, I have a blue roof or a purplish roof. I think this is the roof that we have. And I'm going to go ahead and first draw off the roof Let me make the roof. I'll try to be careful and stay within the lines. Choose the medium. You can also choose light jitter for this because you want some straight lines. And then use your fill tool to fill it in. We'll add the details later. Now let's make the red one. So plus and choose red, and the red barn is actually 69 and 55. And I'm going to go ahead and draw the barn now. Fill tool. In between, if you realize that, oh, I want this one to be down, you can click and hold until it highlights and just bring it back down like this. And then now we're going to add some lighter color over here. So I think we have it here. That's this one, 0, 48 and 75. Let's go ahead and add that. Go to your brush. And so go to your brush. Is there anywhere else? Yes, you need to draw on this. So now let's go ahead and add further details and things like that. I'm going to go on to the roof layer and click on plus now and go and choose white, and let's go ahead and add some lines to this. So here you can actually make it light jitter, medium jitter, whatever you want. I'm going to choose the lightest that I have because I want a bit of straight line here. If you think the lines are much thicker, what you can do is you can go ahead and reduce the size. I'm going to use little pressure so that I get really thin lines. Okay, and there's a window over here. So the reference image had a name here called Walnut Farm. If you wanted, you can go ahead and add it, but I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, so this is done and we need to add few more details, but I want it below the white layer, I think. So I'm going to go below that white layer and click on plus, and I'm going to choose the darker color that I have. We need darker red, this one. Yes, this is the color. So we'll use this color and we will add some lines. Don't worry if the lines are not continuous, it doesn't matter. Now for the roof, let's go to the roof here and plus, and we're going to choose some dark color. Dark blue, I think this one will do. Let's try it. Yes, I guess no. Let's make it a little lighter. Maybe this one. Yeah, this is perfect. So this one is 226, 26 and 65. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it to maybe 68 or so, and I'm going to go ahead and add some lines, and I'm going to choose the darker color just so that I can add a bit of things like this. Now let's go ahead and make the bottom one. So make sure you go all above, like the white layer and everything above that, and create a new layer. You're going to choose this nice little bright olivish green, 56, 95 and 45. I'm going to go back to my heavy jitter and I will just draw here, or maybe let's make it medium. Because there's a gap, so make sure you close this gap, and now you can use the fill tool and then it's clean. Now let's add few more things in here. So click on plus and I'm going to choose some maybe darker green. We'll use the greens that we already have in this artwork, so I'm just going to use this dark olive, 50, 85 and 23, and I'm going to go ahead and add some blobs again. You can add like thick thin blobs and things like this. You can actually go ahead and do this. Don't worry, we can use clipping mask like this and it'll look pretty okay. I'm going to add that a little bit here and bit here like this. And I'm going to choose some black because why not? Black actually looks pretty cool when used with these set of colors, right? And I'm going to add that here, bit, okay. And now let's choose some really light green, the one which we have here. So make sure you don't use it close to this object here, use it somewhere far. So maybe make it like that, and we're going to use make some bushes kind things, so like this and like that. If you don't see what I'm doing, I'm just doing like that, see, and then extending this and trying to do it like this. Always overlap things, like you have this color here, so you're gonna go ahead and overlap it. When there's black, if you add it, the colors look pretty nice when you do that. Okay, and we need a different color. That's a bit of a greenish color, because we need to keep things a bit different and exciting, like that. Okay, and now let's go ahead and click on a new layer, because I don't want it to be a clipping mask, and I'm going to add some edges here. So I'll choose this really black, and undo, and I'm going to go into light jitter now, and I'll add some things like that. You don't have to do a lot, you just have to add a bit like that. There's a lot happening. I would avoid adding so many things. If you feel it's too much, just click and hold and take that color. You can go back into that layer and just or go to a new layer and go back into your medium jitter and just cover it up a little bit, make it look a bit better. That's how you clean up, if you want to clean up. Okay, and then next, now we're going to add all the trees and stuff like that. Okay, so now for this, we'll choose the outline brushes, and I'm going to choose the light pressure outline, and I like that. I'm going to choose this black because I want my trees to have really nice black outlines. But before that, I have to figure out where these things come, right? I'm going to go back all the way to the trees. There they are, with the highlights and things, and click on plus. So it's at 40 and everything else is default setting. So this brush has a different thing. Like if you do from here, you see it's thinner here, thicker there. So I'm going to do it from top and do it like this, and top, and then put pressure so that it becomes, like that. How's that? Do you get it? Thin and then thick. Wait a minute, undo. Okay, that's a bit not nice, so that's okay. And then we'll do this one. You can go down here because you have these layers over here, so it doesn't matter. And let's do that same thing here as well. And now you can use your fill tone to fill this in, but I'm not going to fill everything. I'll fill some of them and leave the rest as it is. Like 1 or 2 of them, I'm going to leave some of them as outlines because I think that looks very nice. Our trees are ready. I want to draw this fence, and this fence is going to be on top of the tree. So click, and now you just go to your outline brush again, and then we're going to draw a fence. Let's draw here as well. I'm going to go back here and color this one because otherwise it looks odd. Yeah, there you go. So we'll do the same thing for these orange trees here. Go here, plus, and we'll choose some dark red or dark orange. Choose any color, doesn't matter. I'm using the same brush. You can decrease the size here if you want to. And then let's go ahead and draw some trees like this. And you can also have other things here. So there's this thing like light jitter outline. You can use that as well. So it gives this nice little jitter. See here? I kind of like it. So I'm going to use that jitter outline for these bushes that I have here. If you look closely, you can see the jitter. I think that's done too. So quickly, let's go ahead and uncheck our sketch. There you go. And I think your artwork is ready. If you can go ahead and add more details if you want. You can add more details to the trees here. You can add more colors to these mountains here. You can make the clouds much more nicer if you want to. Even the bottom part here, you can add some outlines. Oh, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into my part where I have this thing and make it plus, and going to choose a black, and you can add some outlines here. Wait, where am I? Oh, it's on top of this. Let's go here, and I'm going to add some outlines. Not this. I want the light pressure outline, and There you go. Your artwork is ready. Once you're done, you can click on the share, publish and export as. You can choose any format you want and just export it and save it wherever you want. And that's it. That brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee on ko-fi.com, or you can also click on the thanks button under this video. You can also support my channel by sharing this video with your friends and family or anyone who is interested in it. By the way, if you do create something using one of my tutorials, don't forget to tag me. That is at @PrintMeSomeColor or at ThinkBeyondColor on Instagram, and I would love to check it out. And I love reading your comments, so I would really appreciate it if you can leave a comment, a feedback, suggestions, or anything that you want to generally talk to me about. Okay, I guess I'll see you in the next video then. Bye-bye.